bars and Kit Kat, click cat, give you 20 bars, you give me 4, rather 16, did you get that? It's 10 season, yeah, I got the flow, I got the glow, I got the something you ain't heard before. Like, go.
But you make everything alright when you hold and you squeeze me tight. But you make everything alright when you hold and you squeeze me.
Run fast from a day job, running fast from the way it was. Jump quick to a paycheck, running back to the strip club. I'm never going back.
Reclaim the neighborhood, gentler vacation. The reason why this project came to be was from talking to different artists in LA that have been impacted by gentrification and seeing a need to say something about it. The reason why it's gentler vacation is because I believe there are people that want to take a break from their family. They want to take a gentler vacation away from real life, and in turn are displacing people in LA, pushing LA County to develop or redevelop low-income communities, literally killing our people that have been here for LA and make LA what it is. And that's not right. This project is mostly interviews with different artists around LA speaking about gentrification in their communities and how they feel about it.
So we're right here at my block, Hobart, on the intersection of like Washington and Hobart. We're right here at the end of my block. This is where I come to like chill, relax, and like meditate. Just over the past 5 years, you know, there's been a form of gentrification that's come up, you know, due with like rent raising and income influx. It's just been really kind of weird, for the lack of a better word. But yeah, this is it's been real prominent in this area. So recently in this neighborhood, I say the recent span, like I said before, like a span over 5 years, there's just been people moving in here, and I'll be blatant, I mean like white people like moving into the neighborhood, and it's just really different, you know what I mean? Like that's all I've known is like seeing like people of color all my life, like black folks, Latino folks, you know what I mean, and you know, a few Asian folks, but in my neighborhood. But yeah, piece of like 5 years, man, it's just been like really prominent, you know what I mean? It's like in forms of like, you know, white people walking their dogs at night, you know what I mean, through the streets. And it's just crazy because like from what I know as a kid, like this neighborhood isn't always safe, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's weird to see like a neighborhood become safe. What does that mean for us, you know, for us, you know what I mean, in the future of us living here in this neighborhood? I mean, like I said, like in my tribe, my neighbors, they don't look the same, you know what I mean? They're different. Neighbors, you know, smells are different. You know, the culture is different. Like, there's no more, you used to have parties like all the time, like in the neighborhood, you hear that. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not because, you know, some people call the cops now, you know what I mean? And that's another big thing, like a police presence. There's a large police presence now in the neighborhood. And we used to have a neighborhood market, which was like right across the street, but it's got taken over, and it's now like a tattoo spot, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like how does that contribute to the neighborhood? So I think that's part of like one of the solutions that I would want to push, or like our people to push in this neighborhood, is to push for businesses or small businesses, mom and pops, that will contribute to the neighborhood and neighbors around here, something we can live off of or use, you know? Yeah. So one thing we can do in this neighborhood as people who are being gentrified is, you know, first like spread the word about it, you know what I mean? Because over the years, you know, it's just been like a implicit issue, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a stigma, you know what I mean? Just people talk about, but no one wants to admit it truly exists. So one thing we can do is like bring awareness to it, you know what I mean? Talk about it with one another, you know what I mean? Your peers, your colleagues, parents, friends, you know, your people, yeah. On a bigger scale, I mean, I would like to see like everybody getting organized, you know what I mean? It's like standing up and just say like, you know, enough's enough, you know, and like if you see a new a business popping up in your area that just seem like it don't match, you know what I mean? So make sure you know you're talking to the construction companies. Make sure you're making sure that this this building project, whatever it may be, is conducive to your neighborhood or is going to add something, you know? I mean, with this project, I mean, it's definitely going to bring awareness. Like I said, like it's going to be super dope, you know what I mean? And we're doing it in a nice hip hop context, you know what I mean? Which is like, I think hip hop is the most powerful tool right now in America, whether it be a positive or negative tool, but it's very influential. So hopefully we can put a positive spin on hip hop and we can bring awareness to gentrification and, you know, just like terminate it. Watch out for white art. It's one tip for you. Yeah. You know when you see like white art in the neighborhoods, like it could be like specific to me, like a couple blocks over on Venice, there's like a painting of a frog, you know what I mean? Next to that, it's just like cartoon characters and stuff, and it's just like, this is not, even though it's not like graffiti, and then like I don't want to go into graffiti like tagging and stuff like that, but I mean, yeah, some tagging is bad because, you know, that's like replicating like gangs and stuff, but other like forms of like graffiti is just like just to be like artistically dope, you know what I mean? And it's just like you can really tell the difference, and it seems like white art is like trying to commercialize the neighborhood in a sense, you know what I mean? By making it look urban or cool, like, or street, you know what I mean? Like, or even like hip hop, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah.
The kind of flow that cause the end of us. Smooth hot 16 melting into Icarus. Uncle sends affairs I can't seem to bear. I won't have it here, no, I won't have it there. Wait, perhaps with the snare. Right face, left face, front face, about face. Yeah, I run this place. I said it's right face, left face, front face, about face. You the tuner deck and I'm the ace, stay on pace. I'm out here finessing in case you were guessing. Kicking a funky lesson, passing on blessings. Why you say blessings? Cause some people here resting. Time for some nesting. Did I win? Did I win? Did I win? Crazy dope deja flew. Oh, I did it again. I got my right and my left. If I punch you with my right, I ain't got nothing left. Yeah, get it hot like it's Mayday. Glock, Glock, AK, anyone who name, JK. As a matter of fact, I'm packing the Mac in the back of the act. You can thank Pump for that.
Oh yeah, we're filming it. Yeah, this is my grandma's place actually. This was built when, like around 2006. This is just like the Section 8 part. There's the lofts over there, and then there's the senior center over there. Well, not center, but you know. No, it was bound to look like this. It's starting to, you know, get its markings and like scratches on the walls. Like, I remember when I was first here, everything was all painted blue. Like that thing's missing over there. Things just wear out. But I don't. But yeah, gentrification. Like they keep certain people down. You know, it's kind of sad. You know, they shouldn't do that. I guess gentrification, like if a bunch of white people start moving in, then it's just like just pure white people, and then there's no room for anybody else. And I'm just like, that's too like separated. You know? It sucks because sometimes I feel like they're hipsters actually just trying to break the barrier. You know, some of them are actually good people. I wouldn't like the guys who were trying to kick you out of the place. Like, at least, I wish they could just keep the rent due. You know what, that's what they should do. They should keep rent due to, like, how your pay wage is, because that's just totally unfair. You're basically trying to pay as, like, a freaking rich man's house, and then you have to pay gas, and then you have to pay your phone bill, then you have to pay TV services, and then you have to pay for all these things that you want. So, I don't know. That's just... I guess maybe it wouldn't work, but this one, it's alright. I mean, it was for Section 8, so, I mean, there's a lot of Hispanic people here, if anything, you know, a lot of Hispanic people moved in here. If anything, like, you know, that loft over there is where, like, all the fancy people live at. I'm just like, damn, dude, that's a nice car. I want to get rich enough to have that car, and it's just like, sometimes I feel like I never reached that dream, but... You know, yeah. There's a fence. Actually, it's kind of sad, isn't it? And we're like inside the thing.
Is it that fence or?
No, like, there's another one like right there, just between the two buildings. Like you see, the two buildings are separated. Yeah. There's one right there. You could probably get shots of it so that you could edit it in later. Yeah. But yeah, there's a fence there. It's so weird. I remember when I was younger, I used to climb it, and I'd go to the gym. Go on the other side? Yeah, I'd go to the I'd break through the other side, man. Nobody's gonna fuck your wall. I'm gonna fucking climb it no matter what. And you know, it's just like it is, man. They have a gym. They have. It's like, have you seen Shameless? No. Oh well, it's a good. I like it. Some people don't like it. He says some fucked up shit too. He says that one fucked up. Actually, it is about gentrification too, because like they're kind of white, you know, but they're poor, and they live like in this fucked up family, and. Like one of the things that they have graffiti in the back, like for the Netflix thing, is like gentrify this. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, you know, like you know, like I guess it's like it's more about poor. You know, like poor communities. It's not about poor communities versus rich communities. Like, you know, 'cause there's different mixed races of poor people now, but there's more of a diversity ratio in others than more. Oh, they're bumping El Corrido. That's Corrido, right? I don't know. Yeah, nice. See, I mean, this is a section 80. This is where I grew up. So yeah, like you're right. Gentrification does exist. You know, I'm not gonna say it doesn't. I just feel weird talking about it because, you know, like, it's not a sensitive subject, but you know, it's very, yeah, political, and it's like, it's sometimes people be like, they shouldn't get political. It's just like, why not? What if I want to be president? I'm allowed to.
Vampire queen, we could go away any other day of the week. Oh, it could be so nice. Paradise with the skin of ice. It's so nice. Don't you know it's alright? I'll see you in the morning, I'll see you in the night. Don't worry, it's alright. I'll see you again. I'm an artist, educator, dancer, breaker, Mexican American, identity professor at Long Beach, assistant professor of dance at Long Beach. We are in South Central, what is now considered or called South LA. And yeah, right now we're at in a community. It's a low-income community. This parking lot is a space for graffiti artists actually to come in and bomb these walls. They do it every few months or so. I noticed that it changes. It's always fresh. This is also a very busy corner on the weekends for street vendors to come and sell anything from food to clothing to tools, electronics. So it's like a bazaar. It's like an outdoor swap meet. It's out here. It's a place of trade and economy for the low-income residents of this area. Well, I actually grew up a few blocks, a few streets east. So I didn't get here until I left for college. But I think South Central as a whole, it seems a bit quieter, a bit safer. I mean, when I grew up, I feel like there was some more present gang activity. There was a lot of just trash, kind of like on a lot of streets that I remember. There were always homeless, and there still are homeless individuals out there, so that hasn't changed. I feel like I lived with more black peers while I was growing up, and so it seems like the area has become primarily Latino, be it Salvadorian, Mexican, Honduran. You get a range. So yeah, in some ways it seems a little quieter, but things are still the same here. People are still working really hard. We still have a predominantly low income demographic, but I think what has kind of affected this place have been the developments in USC and downtown. The renovations to downtown and that becoming a more walkable space, a big business place, and USC with its new housing developments. There's going to be a Trader Joe's there. That's not too far. So, in that sense, the neighborhoods immediately surrounding South Central are becoming more accessible to a middle class that's different from the low-income families that live here. So the gentrification is creeping this way. So I feel like the gentrification hasn't happened in South Central as to the degree that it's happened in like Boyle Heights, Lincoln Heights, or Highland Park, Montecito Heights, that East LA area. But there's potential, and I think it's gonna happen. It's gonna creep over here. What do I think about that? It's complicated. I say that because I recognize as my whole life I recognized as low income. That was a big deal for me, big part of my identity. And growing up here, that meant being low income kind of inspired me to want to get out of this neighborhood. It made me want to strive really hard for education and use that as my ticket out. And it worked. I got a full ride to a private liberal arts college in Atlanta. I did that, came back, went to UCLA, got my MFA, and that led me to getting a position at Cal State Long Beach as an assistant professor. So you could say that my life has changed because of that. There are parts of me that are low income, but the status that I now have as a professor has moved me up, and I'm aware of that. And that's something that I always wanted, but I still have roots in this neighborhood. So what I see or what I envision is that I can be a part of this gentrification by preserving what I can of the richness of the culture here, the color, like these walls. If gentrification is the process of making a neighborhood more polite for a middle class, maybe even specifically a white middle class, I would argue that in LA, especially in South LA, we need to retain some of the cultural color. And that includes the people. That includes the brownness, the blackness, and I think gentrification can be an opportunity to integrate. Not saying it's going to be easy, because it's not. And historically, when gentrification happens, that just means that the brown and black people or yellow people are moved completely to a different direction. And some remain, but I'm hoping that me, as in the position that I am now, as a professor, and the knowledge that I have, that I can try to get some of this to stay intact and be part of the new era of South Central, of South LA. Yeah. No, that's a good point, and I've thought about that. I've thought about, like, so at what point does it get violent? And violence can come in different ways. It's not just tangible or physical, you know. It can be psychological. It could be emotional violence. But I think the act itself of displacing people, cornering them so that they can't pay for their rent, pay for food, that's violent, you know. So I think, you know, the way that Boyle Heights is setting the example with responding with violence, it's the same game. It's just a different form that's more blatant, and it's effective. I mean, look, it wouldn't be the first time that happens. Wars had to be fought so that people could not be slaves anymore. Civil rights, not too long ago. The Civil War, the Egypt with the slaves and the Jews moving out. It's long. It's a long history. Mexico and the Spanish, you know. So fighting for independence. That's kind of what it comes down to. I think there are our generation, the millennials, I don't know. I think we have an opportunity to either give in to it or make it work in a way that could be beneficial for both parties. But at the same time, that can be problematic. Yeah. So it's complicated, man. I feel complicated about gentrification. Okay, so look. So there's a spot called the Reef. It's just off of Broadway and Washington. An investor bought it not too long ago, and they're thinking about pumping approximately $1.2 billion into a project that would include housing, a hotel, shops, including grocery store. It would quickly house about 4,400 people. And that's not too far from here. That's like a 7-minute drive from where I am currently sitting. So whenever I drive north in that direction, down Main Street or Broadway, there's this corridor of warehouses, mostly textile, but that portion from Adams all the way from Adams to Jefferson to King, there's not too much housing there. It's mostly like warehouses. And I don't know. I honestly don't know if they're still in business. I think some are. Maybe some might be abandoned, and some might be like up for grabs for investors. And one vision that I have is that maybe we as a community come together and reclaim one of those spaces. Maybe get some funding or somebody who's in a position to put resources and back us up, who believes in what we believe in, and claim that space, and make it into like a arts center. I think there are a lot of street artists here, not just in South LA, but in the surrounding areas, in East LA to Crenshaw, in downtown LA, and we could teach each other things there, you know. It could even be a housing community that's low income, that's affordable, and the residents could be artists themselves, and they could host like classes as part of living there, as part of service for living there. So that's kind of a vision that I have, as an artist, as an advocate for retaining this culture, or even amplifying, you know, what low-income residents have to offer. Even I feel like for someone like me who has been fortunate enough, and you know, I worked hard for my education, I need to share. share the knowledge, and I think that would be a good way to do it, or get people to share with each other. And it could be classes from anything to like visual art, music, dance, film, sculpture, anything, you know. There could be Zumba classes, like there could be nutrition classes.
I don't know about Zumba.
But yeah, just something to promote a healthy lifestyle on that's arts friendly, and so that's like a long-term goal that I have. Is I know that gentrification is going to start creeping this way. So what if we play the real estate game too? And just literally claim spaces before the gentrification does. I'm also thinking about personally investing in real estate, like buying a place. And now that I'm at Long Beach, I'm like, all right, shall I go to Long Beach, to an area that's already gentrified, or should I stay here, invest here for when the fight comes? There's already a resident, there's already a citizen who knows what's going on and can help out the neighbors. So that's more of a short-term plan. And I think this project is helping me realize that. I think that's one outcome of this project, of short-term, what I'm getting out of this project. Is it's calling me out, and it's making me be accountable.
And you agreed to it.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's about, you know, looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, shit, we gotta do something. Yeah. Yeah, but I think this project itself could be a really good learning tool, a really good resource, a really good spark to get some movement going. Because if there's no movement, there's no life, and we won't make those changes.
Gentrification, the rebirth of segregation, the reoccurring story of a marginalized nation. It's way more a picture than the frame, man. Stuff is mad tough, my neighbors don't look the same. Rent is going up, people moving out, that's a small glimpse of what it's all about. I used to smell greens, but now I smell sauerkraut. That's not what I'm about. Oh hell, I'm out. The only place affordable is where they grab bags, empty mags, and earn toe tags. Listen, this is for the ones whose skin is real bright, and this is for the ones who walk their dogs at night. We ain't going nowhere without a fight, alright?
My name is Jai Williams, and I am a dancer, and we're filming at USC Village. To me, gentrification, it's kind of bittersweet, because like all the memories that you once knew are like gone because they're like building new things in the area that you grew up in. So it's kind of like a good thing, because it's like new opportunities, new businesses, new things, but it's also like a part of you that's gone forever. Yeah, the area, I'm pretty familiar with this area. I grew up like on 39th and Jefferson and like Normandy, so it's like 5 minutes walking. So I lived around here for a long time, and I just remember coming to the Denny's that used to be here, the Burger King, the Wendy's, like things that I like grew up eating, and like, you know, going to the movies with my friends frequently. And now it's just like, it's different. It's like, it's no longer there. Honestly, like I came here yesterday for the first time, and I didn't even know they changed it. So I kind of felt like betrayed. Honestly, like I felt betrayed coming here. You know, I came here like expecting something that I once knew. And then when I got here, I was like, what is this? Like, who did this without like my permission? Like who allowed this to happen and didn't like get approval? Or I don't know if they did or not, but I didn't know about it. And I feel like as a former resident here and like someone who grew up in the area, like I should have been informed about the change and like, you know, the tearing down of the buildings and everything in the area. So yeah, I kind of feel betrayed, and I don't know. It's a weird feeling. Yeah. I mean, but they have a Trader Joe's, which is nice because like the other one was like far from my house. But you know, I kind of miss the movies that used to be here and Wendy's. But it's cool. Yeah, I guess just kind of like exploring and like researching other projects that might be happening in my community, and like seeing if there's a way I can stop them from happening, like stopping from like businesses that have been here for decades from like being destroyed or like changed or moved or tore down. So that's one thing I think I can do. Yeah, I think maybe an idea for me is kind of like maybe somehow keeping the businesses here as well as expanding more businesses. So like not necessarily tearing them down, but like restructuring everything where the businesses can stay and they can thrive in like a enhanced environment or something. They don't have to, I don't think they necessarily have to be taken away or whatever, but you know, other buildings can be built around them so people still have those memories and new memories for the future. So yeah, I think this project would be very helpful for people who are involved in the gentrification process, and for them to like realize that people are affected by it, and like communities are really affected, and like, you know, these are childhood memories, and like the fact that you can't go back to the same place where you once grew up and like have those same feelings because it's no longer there, like that affects people and communities. And you know, for the future generations, they're not going to know how their community was before. They just know what it is now, and it's like, is that okay? No, I don't think it's okay. You know, I appreciate Gabriel for doing this documentary and like bringing light on this problem, not only in Los Angeles but like all over the country.
Living space is real tight, but we gon' be alright. We weren't ready for discrete discrimination. We have to overcome subliminal, criminal gentrification.
It's way more picture than the frame, man. Stuff is mad tough. My neighbors don't look the same. My neighbors don't look the same, man. Stuff is mad tough. My neighbors don't look the same. My neighbors, they don't look the same, man. Stuff is mad tough. My neighbors, they don't look the same. My neighbors, they don't look the same, man. Stuff is mad tough. My neighbors don't look the same.
It's effed up what's going down in LA. What can I say? It seems like the system really to pay. They wanna push our people out in all our families. They want us dealing with all of this insanity. They put the high rates and high
It feels like that, right? Like, man, we need to.
Number down below.
All right, how about? They got me.
My set.
It's crazy though, but I wasn't meant to share the resources, you know. I should pick this up. You ready? Or and we're back on. So I lied.